Hello, Texas Math Mundo audience. Today we have a real treat. You think Tom Brady having 6 Super Bowl rings is impressive? Today we have Oscar Santos, 9-time, yeah that's right, 9-time individual state champion, UIL, back in the early 2000s. It's a real treat. I'm very excited to interview him. Let me take a moment before we get started to ask you to hit the like button, go ahead and make a comment below, and subscribe, please. I appreciate it. Again, Oscar Santos, right up. My name is Saul Cantu, and this is Texas Math Mundo. All right, Texas Math Mundo audience, we have a real treat in store for us. We have a 9-time individual state champion with us, Mr. Oscar Santos. Welcome, Oscar.
Well, thanks for having me.
Oh, I really appreciate you being here. Let me just count this off. As a freshman in 2000, you got a state championship in number sense and math individually. As a sophomore in 2001, you were the state champion in number sense and math. As a junior in 2002, you were the individual state champion in number sense, math, and calculator. And as a senior in 2003, you were the individual state champion in number sense and calculator. All this in class 4A when there was only 5A. 5A was the top. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Holy cow, Oscar Santos, man. You are Hall of Fame material. You are Texas UIL Hall of Fame, if there ever was. 9 individual state championships. Holy cow. Well, thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me, man.
All right, Oscar, let's start with the present. So, how are you doing? How have you been handling the pandemic?
Oh man, just trying to hang in there. A lot of patience, a lot of understanding. I mean, we're all in tough situations, students, teachers, parents, everybody. So just trying to do the best that we can. Just everybody's facing different circumstances. We actually had a baby girl a month ago.
Holy cow!
So
congratulations!
So it's been eventful. Thanks. Yeah, it's been really eventful. And then I have another 3-year-old, and then 2 other ones that are 15 and 11. So we're doing good. We're all hanging in there. They're all doing really well.
You were busy. I was going to ask you what are you up to, but I know changing Pampers.
Yeah. Yeah. It's no, I mean my wife does a great job handling all that stuff. She's not going to work yet. She's going to return next week. But yeah, then it'll get really interesting once that happens.
Congratulations, man! The family,
thanks.
man, newborn at home. Boy, your life is full and busy.
Yeah, definitely eventful, busy, exciting. Yeah, it's fun. It is fun. It's tiring, but it's fun.
Hey, so how do you pay for all these Pampers? What are you doing for work nowadays?
Well, you know what? Well, I'm a teacher, man, and my wife's a counselor. But people around us have been really, really generous. At my campus, at her campus, our families, they've really helped us a lot with diapers and all kinds of gifts. I mean, we've been really blessed, both with our baby and our 3-year-old. 3 years ago, we got a lot of help, and we're blessed to have so many good people around us.
Wow, Oscar. Yes. Wow. Awesome. And so when you're not engaged in work or changing Pampers or feeding the bottle to the baby, do you have any interest or hobbies that you're engaged in?
Yeah, definitely. Well, right now my little boy keeps me busy, and I'm trying to get him ready to play baseball. He's 3 years old already, but I mean he's advanced for his age because the kid's been playing with the ball since he was like a year old. That's his favorite toy.
Really?
It's funny in this age when kids are all into phones and YouTube and all these things. His favorite toy is not even cards or anything like that. It's balls. He likes balls. That's what he likes to do.
Really?
All day when he's here, just dribbling, shooting, playing catch, stuff like that. So I'm working to try to get him ready for some summer ball, baseball, and then hopefully we'll get him into basketball as well. Just trying to be active with the kids.
Wow. So you're raising him right. You're raising him right as an Astros fan. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely Astros. I love the Astros.
All right.
I don't know. I told you that. I didn't know. I told you that.
No, I just made it up because I'm from Houston.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. That's always been my team. Houston Astros, Houston Rockets. I used to root for the Houston Oilers as a kid. Now that they're in Tennessee, I have an affinity for the Tennessee Titans. I'm not much into the Texans, though.
Hey, me and you are on the same wavelength. Me and you are.
Yeah.
But I'm an Earl Campbell Houston Oilers fan back from the day.
I remember the days, man. I'm a little young for that because I started watching it like in '92.
Warren Moon.
Campbell was already gone. Warren Moon, right? Warren Moon. And so, but yeah, I mean, and then McNair came around. I love the Titans. I'm actually a 49er fan. That's my number one team, but I still have an affinity for the Oilers.
You know how happy I am that you said that because everybody in the Valley is a Cowboys fan. Boo!
Oh yeah, no, I can't stand them. Sorry, I can't stand the Cowboys.
All right.
At all.
All right, that's funny. All right, so in addition to teaching, where do you teach at?
I teach at Collegiate High School, PSJA Collegiate High School program. It's not a standalone campus, but it is a campus where it's to really gear students towards college courses. Okay. Even though the other campuses in PSJA do offer a lot of college courses as well, this one is more focused solely on that.
Okay.
It's a smaller campus.
All right, and you recently coached a state qualifying calculator team, right? PSJA.
Yes. So I am this year. I helped Mr. Alvaro Leal at PSJA High School because we're not a standalone campus at the Collegiate High School program, and so I asked for students that wanted to join UIL Math, even though we're not a standalone campus, and I had a couple students from that were zoned to PSJA High School, all freshmen, and so I let him know that, hey, I have some kids for you, and he said, well, join me, and so I did. And so together we coached the PSJA High School Bears team over there. And we did well. We did pretty well.
Yes.
We ended up winning district, winning regionals, and we came in second place at state.
Wow.
For the calculator event.
You and Alvaro Leal.
Yes.
All right. What a powerful duo over there.
Alvaro Leal. Yeah. I mean, we did really well. We also had a junior, Alma Carrillo. She, I believe, got 4th or 5th place. I think she got 5th place.
Oh, wow.
It was a tight competition, though. It was tight. So we're hoping for better results next year. Excited.
Hey, that's great. Congratulations on such a wonderful showing this year. And, it's about the journey, buddy. It's about the journey.
It is.
9-time individual state champion. 9 times. I can't believe I'm saying that. 9-time individual state champion. Oscar Santos. I want to know a little bit about your past. Like, where are you from? Where did you grow up?
So I was actually born in Laredo, but we moved to the Valley when I was about 3 years old, I think. And so I went to school in PSJA.
All right.
All my childhood.
Austin or LBJ?
No, so actually in middle school I attended what used to be PSJA Memorial Middle School. Memorial Middle School, which is now T-STEM High School. But now, so PSJA Memorial Middle School got closed down For a few years, it was closed down, and now they're Liberty Middle School in Pharr.
I actually went there. It used to be called Ninth Grade Memorial in my days.
Right, yeah, that was before my days. Yeah, just the ninth grade campus. And at that time, I think it was called, or was it the Jefferson? Was it called Jefferson or was it called Memorial?
I think before me it was called Jefferson.
Okay, well now it's called Jefferson again. Jefferson. But
so
yeah, I've heard of that.
So Oscar, when did you first realize that you had a talent for mathematics?
Well, I always enjoyed math. That was always my favorite subject going back to elementary. I'd probably say maybe like in second grade when we'd have these competitions, these multiplication table competitions. And I'd do really well. I'd beat almost everybody. And when we did the minute math exercises where you had to do so many multiplication tables in like 5 or 10 minutes, I don't know, I'd always be the first one to finish them. I guess that's when I knew. But I was a straight A student, so I mean, I always wanted to be perfect at everything, but math always came easiest. It was math and spelling; those were the two things that I was best at. And it wasn't until middle school that I got into UIL in 7th grade, and that's when I knew I was pretty good at it compared to everybody, not just in my school. But even then in 7th grade, I wasn't really winning competitions. It wasn't until 8th grade when I really started practicing more with my coach. And so that's when I realized, wow, I'm actually winning a lot. And I think it opened up like the whole new world to me, I think. Wow. It's what I always wanted to do. I always wanted to be the best at something. So that's when I found that was my thing.
Wow, that's incredible. So you came from Laredo as a young kid. You entered the PSJA system, and so you ended up being zoned to PSJA Memorial.
So I was actually zoned. I'm not too sure. I think I probably would have been zoned to PSJA North. However, I had a much older sister, 9 years older, that worked at PSJA Memorial.
Okay.
And so I went ahead and joined her at PSJA Memorial.
So you're a proud Wolverine.
Right, yes, I'm a Wolverine alumni. I would have been a Raider though. So like in 8th grade, from Memorial Middle School, all those students would be zoned to either Bears or to Raiders. Most of my friends, they went to both campuses. I was one of the few students that went to Memorial, so I kind of lost all my friends. In high school, I had to start over again. It was pretty exciting. Wow. But yeah, I would have been a Raider. Instead, I was a Wolverine.
Wow. So you were a Wolverine, PSJA Memorial. You taught at PSJA North, so you were a Raider for a while. You had PSJA Collegiate now, and you coached the PSJA Bear calculator team.
Yeah, this first year was the first year.
Okay, so you're a PSJA guy, period.
Yeah, and actually before I taught at North, I taught at PSJA Southwest. There's another campus in South Pharr, PSJA Southwest, and I taught there for 2 years before I then transferred to PSJA North.
So you're the guy to go to if I need a tour of the PSJA school system.
Yeah, I could show you a few places.
All right. Interesting. Yeah. So that 8th grade year, was that you consider your introduction to competitive mathematics?
Well, no, I'd competed in 7th grade as well, and I'd won a few trophies for sure. At that time, I only did number sense and math. I loved number sense. From the first time I took a number sense test, I loved it in 7th grade. Wow. But it wasn't until 8th grade when I really started winning, like winning.
Oh, we lost your audio. All right, so we were at your competitive mathematics.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, in 8th grade, that's when it really all came together. But you know what? That's also because I started practicing a lot more. And I had a coach that worked with me like on a daily basis in 8th grade. And his name was Pete Fuentes, and he actually still coaches here in the Valley. So that's really when I started taking off. In 8th grade, when I started practicing every single day and I started learning all these new mathematical concepts. It's also when I took algebra in 8th grade And so just learning all these new math concepts it opened my eyes completely, and it was really interesting. It was really fun. And so, yeah, 8th, 9th grade were the really transformative years.
Wow.
8th and 9th grade.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I'd say that those were probably the years that I studied the most. 8th, 9th grade, and practiced the most, UIL as well. 10th grade as well. Once 10th grade hit, the last 2 years I practiced a lot less, but I mean, I knew so many things by then, and I was so in shape that, it was easier. But yeah, 8th, 9th, and 10th grade, those were the years.
I was going to ask about your study habits, but it looked like you really went on the grind. You really went on the grind and studied very hard those years.
Right, 8th, 9th, and 10th grade, those were the years.
And
definitely.
Yes, who inspired and influenced you? What shaped your value system? For sure, this Pete Fuentes?
Right, mathematically, definitely.
Coach
yes.
Pete Fuentes? Anybody else inspire you?
Yeah, definitely. My middle school coach, who actually still works at Liberty Middle School, his name is David Granados. David Granados, he still coaches there. Wonderful man. He's had a lot of UIL students come through there. Past state champions too. So
David Granados.
He's the one who actually got me into UIL first at Memorial Middle School.
That middle school years cannot be underestimated. You can really change the trajectory of a kid's life right there and then.
Yeah, it's probably the most important. You can really make a huge impact. Middle school to high school years, definitely. And so, yeah, if it wasn't for that, I probably would not have been in UIL Math. And so, he was my pre-algebra teacher in 7th grade, and he happened to be the sponsor, and so he got me in. And from there, it all just came together, little by little.
You're the proof right there of what an impact can happen, like especially when you get them in middle school. That's awesome, yes. Oscar. That's awesome.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, thanks. And so, I mean, also my dad, my family, my sister, my mom.
Yeah, of course.
Always had that competitive nature since I was little, because of my dad as well. Just trying to win at everything, be the best possible at everything. So, can't underestimate that. I mean, if I weren't so competitive, then I wouldn't have won so much. Then I wouldn't have tried so hard. Wouldn't have practiced so much.
Well, I'm sure you made your parents very, very proud. And probably still do. So, there you go.
Yeah. Thanks.
I was gonna say I want to head into those 2000 to 2003, those 4 years when you were winning all those state individual championships. What do you recall about those seasons?
About the high school years, you mean?
Yes.
Oh man, it's kind of a blur now. Those first 2 years, a lot of practice, a lot of work. Once after my sophomore year, I think I started really focusing on other things. That's when I started opening myself up to other subjects, especially history. Love history. But it really started my affinity for history really started my junior year, and I had a wonderful history teacher too. His name is Thomas Bodner. I think he works at Cherryland now, but I haven't spoken to him since high school. Loved U.S. history, loved this class, and so it was one of those things where I never read textbook, but his instruction was so good that I still remember everything he taught us, even though I never picked up a textbook for history. And I learned a lot, and it's because of that I'm so interested in politics now, and history, U.S. history.
That's amazing. Those 4 years, 9 individual state championships, and you mentioned history. Look at how powerful and inspiring a teacher can be, that you would remember.
Definitely.
That. Wow.
Yeah, definitely. Still think about the guy every day.
Wow. Do you remember your teammates?
Yeah, I remember. I could name all of them. Yeah.
You want to do a shout out? Name a few of them that you remember the most.
I remember Fred Macias. I don't know what he's doing now. Mm-hmm. Fred Macias. I had Viviana Cortez. She was a year ahead of me. Christian Martinez, my same grade level. We were only together for 1 year though. We had Carmen Alvarado as well, my senior year. Jaime Arevalo, he was with me he was a year below me, so I had him around for 3 years as well. We had Angie Culberson my freshman year. She's actually a coach now. I think it's at Sherryland I think it's at Sherryland. She's a sponsor there, UIL sponsor. She probably doesn't remember, but I remember her. Abraham Gutierrez as well, my freshman year. Don't know what he's doing now, but those are some of them.
Wow. So did were you all close back in those days? Was there a real collaboration? Y'all could bounce ideas off each other, practice together? Yeah,
it was fun. Some of those names, I was a freshman when they were seniors, so I didn't get to be with them for too long. The one that I was with the most was Jaime Arevalo, and I tried to take him under my wing, and we were close for a while. I haven't spoken to him in a few years. I know he has a family now. He's a wonderful guy. So yeah. I mean, it was fun. It was definitely fun.
You get close with the practice and then going to the tournaments together, competing as a team. That's good stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's really fun, memorable, and so I think about that now also whenever we get to take kids to regionals and state, and it's wonderful experiences. I had a lot of wonderful experiences at PSJA North as well, because we had a couple state teams. Go out there, and I still remember those guys. Still talk to those guys. They only graduated a few years ago. So
okay. What calculator did you use back in those days?
It was the HP 32.
The HP 32 S2?
Yeah. Yeah. Never used a graphing calculator either. I know a few students did use a graphing calculator. For the math test, you couldn't use a graphing calculator back then. It wasn't allowed. Wasn't allowed. It's crazy to see the math test. That's all kids ever use now. Graphing calculators on the math test.
The Inspire.
Right. That Inspire. Golly, man.
You program. They program it now. It's crazy.
It's almost the whole test for you.
It's crazy how
But no, and even when I take a math test now, or even a calculator test, I only use my HP 32. I mean, it's got an equation solver on there. I mean, it does the job.
Hey, those are out of production, so, but I'm sure you can get some if it ever breaks down.
Well, now I actually have an HP 32 that still works. It's still hanging on. I don't know how much longer it's going to hang on.
Hey, so what is it about that calculator? Is it the feel of the buttons? Well, what is it about that calculator?
It really is, man. It's so sturdy, too. Like, I've used these HP 35s, and those things, they break on you. They wear out fairly easily. They don't seem to last too long, and I mean I've seen my kids go through a couple of them that the buttons will just cave in and they get real loose and they break. The HP 32, you just never had that issue at all.
I've heard that. I can't. What you're saying is a common sentiment. A lot of people swear by the HP 32 S2.
Oh, super sturdy, reliable, dependable, man.
Oh wow! Now I'm thinking about I gotta get one. I gotta find one.
If you can find one.
Yeah, exactly.
If you can find one, you can.
Hey, yeah. Don Kirby in North Shore, he swears by the HP 33S. That's the one they like.
The 33. Well, you know what? I actually have a 33. I've never opened it though.
Oh wow!
I have it in the original packaging. Never opened it. I've seen a few students use it. I have no idea how it works though.
I started with that one coaching. When I coached with that one when 33? I started off. So it's good. It's good. I like it.
Oh, is it? Okay.
So. Anyway, interesting. Hey, I have a question. Where do you keep all those gold medals?
It's funny, man. I have a couple of them in my bedroom at my dad's house. I don't live with my dad anymore, but they're there. I actually have my bedroom is just filled with trophies along the walls. I have shelves on the walls, trophies, wall to wall. And some of the medals are there. I think he's got a couple medals like at his office where he works. I think he does. But to be honest with you, I don't know where some of them are.
Wow.
Some of them are hung up. Some I think he has, but I wouldn't know where the rest of them are. I actually gave one away to one of my coaches, to Pete Fuentes. I gave him one. I don't remember which one.
Oh, that's a real honorable.
But yeah, I think they're there. I hope they're there.
Wow. Hey, those are special. They're special.
They are. They're special.
Wow.
Yeah, they're
Interesting. So, where did you go to college, man?
So first, out of high school, I attended Ohio State University for 2 years.
Buckeyes.
Yeah, Buckeyes. But I didn't finish up. I actually came back. At that time, I went to Ohio State to do actuarial science.
Yeah.
Actuarial science. But then I was actually about 2 quarters away, because over there, they don't do the semester system. It's the quarter system. I was about 2 quarters away, and I realized it wasn't really going to be my thing. You can make pretty good money in that field. And I actually passed one of my certification exams, although it's a series of like 12 certification exams. So I'd gotten started on it, but I didn't see myself wanting to do that for the rest of my life or for any significant period of time, even though it was math and I love math and statistics and business. But I had a change of heart, and I decided I wanted to do social work. I had a friend who did social work at Ohio State University. Faustino Ceballos is his name. I don't know what he's doing now. I think he's at Westago. And he's the one who said, well, maybe you should try social work. And I said, okay, yeah, I'll try social work. But then I also got homesick, and I came back home, and I finished up social work over here at what used to be UT Pan Am. I got my bachelor's degree in that. I got my master's degree in social work as well. And so my first professional job out of college was with Child Protective Services for 2 years. Okay. Then I worked at Tropical Texas Behavioral Health for another 2.5 years or so. And then that's when I had another change of heart, and I couldn't do that anymore. And so that's, I'd always wanted to teach. Like going back to high school, I had actually thought of teaching, but I was kind of told just, you could do better than that. My family told me, you could do, well, my teacher, my sister especially, because my sister was a teacher, and she said, no, you should do more than that. Don't do teaching. And so I went ahead and tried something else, but eventually I came back to teaching. I took some time off of work. I got out of social work. So for a while I wasn't working, but I got my certification fairly quickly because to pass the certification exams, they're pretty simple. They're not too bad. Well, if you know the math, it's not too bad. And so I was fortunate to get hired pretty quickly after I passed my exams. Okay. At what was Southwest High School. They got me my first job. That was my foot in the door, and it's been teaching ever since then. And
teaching, the highest and noblest of pursuits, just so we know.
Yeah,
so. And you get to impart all this knowledge, and look at the impact you're having with all these students. Now, you're coaching. Now, I want to know about your coaching. How long have you been coaching? Tell me about that experience.
So I've been coaching ever since I got into teaching. From my first year at PSJA Southwest, I coached the UIL Math team there. First 2 years there, 13-14, 14-15. Then when I transferred to PSJA North, first day that I met the faculty there, Marcia Ziegler, she's the department head, the math department head there at North, and she asked me, hey, would you like to join me to coach the UIL Math team? And she didn't know who I was. She just knew I was a new math teacher there. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'd love to coach.
She didn't know you were a 9-time individual state champion?
I don't think she had any idea. And so I jumped on the opportunity. I was like, yeah, I'd love to help out here. But you know what? That first year at PSJA North, I'll never forget that year. We didn't have a team. But there were some incredibly gifted kids and they all happened to be seniors though. And so one of them, his name was Oscar Escobar. Okay. I don't know what he's doing. Gosh, I wish I knew. I know he went to do some mission work because he's Mormon. That he was the one who actually did calculator, and he'd done it on his own though. Like he just taught himself, and the kid was very intelligent. And I'm talking about like a kid who was already hitting like 260s on his own. when I met him. And so I said, all right, man, yeah, I'll work with you. Who else can we get? And so he got some kids from his calculus class. The three other kids, they were Oscar Gonzalez. So that was Oscar Escobar. He got me Oscar Gonzalez, and he got me Brandon Salinas. Now he was a junior. And then I had another one, Roberto Gaona. So 3 seniors, 1 junior. None of them had ever done UIL Math except Oscar Escobar. And man, it was just a lot of fun. We started doing UIL every day after school, but I mean, those were crazy hours because we'd practice till like 6, 7, 7:30 every day after school. And at that time, I had started my master's program as well, because I have a master's in math. Okay. But it's like remote learning, except in the summers I'd have to go out there. It was in Massachusetts, and so I do my stuff. I'd be busy, but then I keep them busy, and then we do work, and it was just incredibly fun. And somehow, like they went from learning how to use an HP 35 to scoring 270s, 280s on calculator tests over the grind of a school year. Like I still think it's the best accomplishment I've ever had. It was incredible. Because it was one thing for me to be able to do it myself, but for me to help a group of 4 young men make that jump was incredible. And I'm super proud of it. And so I was proud of those guys. And then of those 4 kids that were left from my first year there at PSJA North, 2015-16, then Brandon was the only one left the following year. And he actually won regionals, won district, won regionals in 2017. Went to state, but he got 3rd at state.
So
Brandon
awesome.
Salinas.
So awesome.
Smart kid. And then it was the year after that in 2017-18, Brandon graduated, but he brought me 2 other juniors that were then seniors. Those were Robert Gomez and Rosendo Narvaez. And those 2 guys were amazing in their own right too, because we went to state their senior year, and we actually lost by 7 points to Robert Vela. Really? This is 2018. You can look it up. They're there. Yeah. Robert won state. Robert got a 308. He won state. Ross came in 3rd or 4th, actually. I think he came in 4th with a 287, and we lost team just by 1 question, by 7 points to Vela.
Wow.
I was proud of those guys too, man. I mean, they worked hard, and they loved it too. We had a lot of fun.
Did they know who you are? Did they know that they were being taught by a 9-time individual state champion?
They did, because somehow that first class, my class of 4 seniors and junior, Brandon, the Oscars, and Robbie, they managed to find my name somewhere. I think I might have told them that I competed. Yeah. I told them I competed, but I didn't tell them like if I won or not. And at that time, there was a website called texasmath.org.
I remember. I remember.
So at that time, I think that was like the last year that it was up, or one of the last years. And these guys went on there, or I guess they just looked up my name, and my name appeared there, or they knew about the website, and they found a bunch of results with my names on them.
Wow.
And so that's how they found out. And so then the secret kind of got out. They told Ms. Ziegler found out. And
you got a lot of credit, man. That's they're 9 times individual state champion. They know they're being taught by the best.
Yeah. So it was real fun, man. I'll never forget those.
Awesome. And now you take your talents to PSJA the Bears. Yeah.
That's where we were at this year. And so we'll recruit more kids. Yeah, but the thing is that the campus I'm at, we recruit from. I mean, I'll recruit from anywhere. It just so happens that I guess at the middle schools, it's the schools that feed into Bears.
Yes. That
tend to have more kids. Because a lot of these kids, they did it in middle school.
Sure.
And if a kid hasn't done it in middle school, they're a little more hesitant to join in high school. And so, yeah, the bulk of the kids are zoned to PSJA High that I'm able to.
Remember, it's not too late. You took those 4 seniors. You took those 4. It's not too late.
Definitely. Yeah, and so having those guys, I mean, what we did that year, I tell my kids every year, man, anything is possible. Like, I don't care how much we're losing by right now. In a month, we can really turn things around. You never know. You never know.
Ooh.
I mean,
just work hard. That's the thing. Work hard.
Yeah.
I want
Those were special kids, man. Those were special kids.
Wow. Yeah, well, they had a special coach. Let's get that straight too. They had a special coach.
Team.
So I was gonna say, so as a 9-time individual state champion, as a coach, you have this wonderfully unique perspective. That makes your perspective very valuable. I want you to give a couple of groups of people your best advice. First, give advice to students. If a young student's watching this interview and they're hearing you talk, a 9-time state champion, wow. Well, what do you want him to hear? What advice would you give that young man or young lady?
Well, look, what I tell my boys, and I'll tell everybody this, you don't have to feel like you have to do everything. Like, I see some students that are involved in so many different activities, and that's great. If you like all the things that you do, then that's awesome. But what I always tell young men and women that I come across is, whatever it is you do, you try to be the best at it, man. Like try your best. And I don't care what it is. Like, anything that you work at, anything you study at, any club you join, be the best at it, or try to be the best at it. All right, don't just do it to do it. If you work at a fast food restaurant and you're a mopper, be the best damn mopper.
That's right.
Like, just do the best. That's the only way you're gonna move up in life. Plus, you get more joy out of it, I think. And if you're not liking what you're doing, then maybe try and do something else. You can, focus on something that you do like. So that's my advice to students. Don't waste your time with things that you don't like. Try your best, and when you're sitting in a classroom, gain some appreciation for what it is that you're learning. Don't be there just to waste your time. You should appreciate knowledge for knowledge's sake.
I love it, Oscar. That's great advice. I love it. So
yeah, that's what I always say. So.
Awesome. Yes. I've taught for over 20 years, so I understand what you're saying. But sometimes they're young, man. Sometimes it's hard, But hey,
Yeah, I know.
Hey, so the next group of people I want you to give advice to are coaches. You got any advice for fellow coaches?
You mean like UIL coaches?
Yes, math science coaches.
Oh man, that's a tough one, because like, I have my style for doing things, but what I will say is, like, to coaches, you just got to be patient, man. There's a process that you have to follow to get kids to improve their scores. And I say this especially like now, the age that we're living in, with all these gadgets that are available, especially on the calculator and the math test. I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I've seen it before where certain schools, certain coaches are racing to try and get their kids' scores up by doing little tricks here and there. And I think it hurts students. And by the way, this isn't just for UIL coaches. Like, this is at just regular education at schools as well. Everything is so geared towards standardized testing, like the STAR test. And there are a lot of classrooms in America where the bottom line is, are kids passing the test or are they not passing the test? And in a way, it filters out to UIL Math. Not as extreme as with standardized tests, but I see it in UIL Math as well, where, man, kids get really good. They start scoring really high, but they don't quite appreciate the content as much. They're more focused on the score. And I think it's important that the kids learn to appreciate the content, whether they're doing calculator math or even number sense. And I know number sense is a lot of memorizing, but there's something fun about number sense. The kids who like number sense, I mean, you get to think in a completely different way. I would say be patient and teach them the right way, because if they're not appreciating what they're learning, then it doesn't really matter. I mean, I know it does matter to win and to have a team that advances, but it's just not as fun, and it's not the same. And I think in the end, the ceiling for them is much, much higher. They really understand and appreciate everything. Not being so focused on the score. I mean, you got to be focused on the score and improving yourself at all times, but you got to make sure you're learning the right way at the same time.
I do feel you, brother, on this one. I feel you because, appreciate the craft. Respect your craft. I do feel you on this one, brother. It's not just about shortcuts. It's not about finding out the quickest way to enter the coefficients to get an answer. It's to understand why it gives you the answer. You know what I'm saying? I feel you, brother. I do feel you on this one.
And, that the shortcuts aren't even so bad, but it's only good if they learn the shortcuts after they've already learned all the content.
Yes, exactly.
And then all they're trying to do is save some time. But by that time, they know everything already, and they're just trying to get faster. And that's cool. But then you really appreciate the shortcut even more.
Yes.
Because you understand where it's coming from, hopefully.
You're just not shooting in the dark, getting answers that you don't even understand. I feel you. I do feel you.
Right.
So, looking back, what do you value the most about your UIL journey and experience up to this point?
You mean both as a student and as a coach?
Yeah, the whole journey. UIL. What do you value the most about looking back up to this point? And you got many years ahead of you, but up to this point, what do you value the most?
I value all the wonderful people that I've come across, man. Coaches, my own coaches, the students that I've come across, the coaches at the competitions as well. I have friendships with several coaches, long-lasting friendships. It'll be sad one day when all that's gone, but I've really appreciated that. And then, in addition to that, just seeing math in a different way, because when you go through math education, when you go through math courses, you don't really get to see the application of mathematics as much as you do at the UIL level. And that's something that all my kids tell me too. When they go on to college, they take these courses and they're like, sir, this course is easy because everything that we did in calculator or in math, like all these kids are struggling with it, and it's really easy, but that's only because I've learned to think a different way, in a problem-solving manner, not in a textbook manner. Yeah. And so it's a different branch of mathematics, and kudos to Dr. Burrell for taking that on. I mean, I think he's been the only sponsor this whole time. Been doing it for ages, and it always keeps it interesting. So that's really cool.
Wow. Yes. Wow. That's interesting. So, what does the future hold for Oscar Santos?
My future, to be honest with you, I'm focused on my kids. Yeah. I don't know what will happen. I'll tell you, my two older boys, they are they're in 6th and in 9th grade. They don't do UIL math, and I don't make them do UIL math. I want them to get, to pick what it is their interests are, and I'll let them do that. I don't know if my little ones, if my 3-year-old will one day do UIL math, or if my baby girl is going to do UIL math one day. I have a nephew who does UIL math, and so he was with us at PSJA High School. And it was special getting to work with him. He's a sophomore, so I have 2 more years left with him. Andres Flores, and he actually got 9th at state. He's doing well. But yeah, I think my focus is on my family, on my little ones especially, but my teenagers too. I mean, they'll be out the door very soon, sooner than I'd like. And I want to see them grow up, and I want them to not waste their lives. Like I want them to find a purpose, so that they are happy family men, just like I am one day, and that they're responsible and able to take care of themselves, take care of their families as well.
Oscar, when I've said your name several times during this show, I always say Oscar, 9-time individual state champion. And I'm in awe of that statement. But maybe I should say this. Maybe I should say Oscar Santos, family man.
Here's my little one right here.
There he goes. Hi. Wave to the camera. All right, what's this one's name?
His name is Oscar as well.
Oh, the little one, boy. Big shoes.
I'm a junior. He's Oscar the third.
Big shoes to fill.
Oh, but he's a special one, man. He's I'd say he's probably ahead of where I was at this age.
Can you imagine?
But yeah, he's a special one. Sorry, what were you saying? We got interrupted.
No, it was great. I love it. I'd say instead of saying 9-time individual state champion, I should say Oscar Santos, family man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I love my family, man. It's
that's
the
great.
most exciting part of my life.
I love it. And you're raising them to be Astros fans. That's the great thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely.
And not Cowboy fans. I'm joking.
Well, I'll tell you about my older one. He's actually a Chiefs fan. He fell in love with Patrick Mahomes the day he stepped in.
Go figure.
Patrick Mahomes. And they beat my 49ers, man. That was rough in the Super Bowl. But yeah, I'm going to try and raise him to be Astros fan.
There we go. So, any parting words, Oscar, before we conclude this interview?
Man, I don't know. I think I've said a lot, but I mean, I'm glad you're doing this, man. It's long overdue. And when that Texas Math website went down, it was sad.
Yeah, it was.
A lot of archives were lost there. Not just the exams, but like the results, and I don't know how up to date it was, if he was still posting new stuff. But it was,
and the bulletin board,
it's just
the bulletin board. They used to talk across the state through that website.
Right, I remember that when I was in high school. There was a chat room in there that we would use as well.
Exactly,
that was really cool. That's back when the internet was kind of new still, and so it was really exciting. And then that kind of stopped as time went on. But it was sad to see that go, because there were a lot of memories there, a lot of records, things you could look back on.
Yes.
And then we still have some of the archives on the UIL website, but it's not quite the same. That one actually had invitational meets and stuff like that.
Yes.
So I'm glad you've got this going, and I hope you get to find a lot of people to interview and share some of their memories as well. I mean, it was a special part of my life coming up through high school and middle school. So yeah.
And you keep contributing as a coach, You got future generations ahead of you, man. You're still a young man, so you're in this game for a long time, Oscar.
I hope so.
Oscar, I do make it to the Valley every so often. I'll probably make it there this summer. I'm going to give you a call. Please let me treat you. Let me treat you to some tacos.
Definitely, sir. Yeah, I'd love to meet you, and then we'll see who else you have on. If you have any other people from the Valley, maybe we can get together as well.
Awesome. Yes, that would be great. That would be great. Awesome, Oscar. 9-time individual state champion and family man, Oscar Santos. Thank you for being with us, Oscar. I appreciate you, man.
Thanks for having me, Saul.
All right. Farewell, buddy. Farewell.
Thank you.
Okay. Wow, that was quite impressive. Oscar Santos, 9-time individual state champion. It was a real joy to have that conversation with him. If you enjoy this type of content, please take a moment and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Also, hit like, push that like button right now, and make a comment below. I really appreciate the audience here. Thank you for everything. My name is Saul Cantu, and this is Texas Math Mundo. Farewell.